Alright, so this is beautiful Sunday morning. Got about 2 hours before we leave for church. So we love to walk all of our outdoor dogs like this. This is one of the paths through our bush. So we got, at the lead there is Faith. On the right here is Sandy. On the left is Ginger. So Sandy and Ginger are the two moms. This is Cooper. Cooper is Dad. And there's little Franco. He's like the little mascot. And Flora, our little Shih Tzu Jack Russell's inside. She sleeps with my son. Everybody else is still sleeping. But just enjoying a beautiful, beautiful Sunday morning. It's probably about 15 degrees right now. It's cool. The leaves are changing color nicely. We have a lot of poison ivy around here, but just love how the leaves turn red. They're not at their reddest yet. They'll be brilliant, brilliant red this fall. All those red leaves are poison ivy. Well, we cut these trails a couple times this summer, and at the end of this trail is what we call Sandy Ridge, which is what we named our property after. It's the biggest hill on our property. And if you dig down, we're just pure sand. There's about a foot of humus built up over the years from, I guess, a woodpecker met his end here. Got about a foot of humus that's built up over the last umpteen years from all the decaying vegetable matter, but really it's just pure sand, 20 feet, 30 feet deep. We don't know how deep it is. We've never seen the bottom of it. It's like a beach, literally. But it's amazing how well stuff will grow if there's water. And there's a very, very strong water table here, depending on where you are, anywhere from 3 to 10 feet below the surface. And once the roots of these plants get down into it, there's no end. So they do well year round. But just bear with me a little bit. We're almost to the end of the path here. And I'll show you what the end of this looks like. It's why we fell in love with this property 4 years ago. The first view of it that we had, certainly not from this angle though. We made this path. It was heavy, thick bush here. But as we come out here, you see the ridge. It's always hard on camera, but it's about, I don't know, 15, 20 feet higher than the rest of the property. Maybe if we look down over this little gully here, you'll see the difference in elevation. There we go. That's why we call it Sandy Ridge. We're walking up the ridge right now. A lot of choke cherries and Saskatoons here. Even the odd cactus, believe it or not. And some big old poplars and cottonwoods. Lots of oak trees, but they're smaller because of the sand. This is where our dogs get to run every day. Breathing a little hard because I'm out of shape, even though I do this every day. Good dog. We've had a few big windstorms come through here the last couple of years, and we've literally lost thousands of trees. In a thick bush like this, thousands isn't really that many. We don't clean them all up, but the bigger ones we clean up and turn into firewood. But it's a job cleaning up after a tornado. And spent the better part of last summer doing that. This summer's not been quite as bad. But we had that wicked snow and ice storm just before Thanksgiving last year. We had the power out for 6 days. And that heavy, we had 3 feet of very, very wet snow. And it took down the trees that had been leaning over from the last tornado. So, Frank, no. Come. Cooper, come. Frank. Sorry about that. Thought I paused the video for that part. Dogs find all kinds of disgusting things to eat, but they don't need to eat all of it. She's rolling here because she found something really gross. Some nice poop to roll in. Faith over there, she's the she's the roller. If there's something disgusting to roll in, she will. Anyway, I just wanted to show a little bit about the little paradise that we're blessed to own and live in. Like, if you look at this, you'd think we're in the middle of nowhere, miles and miles. But if you just look through the trees, you can just see the hint of the mile road. We're only a mile off the highway here. I'm currently 1/4 mile from my house. All of this is just so close. So I'm gonna go back down, back towards the house on the second major path that we have. Cooper, Faith, come. Good dogs. The reason we got the young ones on the leash and the older ones aren't is these young guys still take off on us. If I let them off the leash right now, Sandy, the lighter one, she's the worst. She'll be gone. She won't come back for 4 or 5 hours. And she predominantly stays in our bush or in the neighboring bush down to the river. But we've got one neighbor. He's a bit of a vigilante. He's a city guy that moved to the country. And he loves rules. Loves rules and regulations. And loves to enforce them. If he sees a dog, he'll call the pound out here. 15 miles out of town, he'll call the pound. And the city pound will come and pick up your dog. And purebred golden retriever, Cooper got picked up one time. Cost us about $150 to get him back. And they were going to put him down. Unreal. Purebred golden, clearly well looked after, had a collar. We didn't have a tag on him at the time because it had got knocked off. And the neighbor who had reported him and got him picked up posted a bunch of nasty stuff on Facebook about negligent pet owners, etc. And we've taken steps to make sure our dogs don't leave the property now. And I'm not making excuses for the dogs going and visiting the neighbors. That's why we've taken different steps. But Cooper got his bad habits. He never used to leave the yard, but he got his bad habits from this female German Shepherd we used to have. He doesn't leave the yard anymore. But anyway, long story short, it's important for us to keep our dogs on our property. But we do have neighbors that instead of phoning you to say your dog is over here, they take the most contentious way possible to deal with the situation. I guess I always believe in taking the path of the greatest resolution in the shortest amount of time with the least amount of conflict, as opposed to, well, rules are rules. It's like the cops, you know, when they pull you over. Oh, you're speeding, here's a ticket. Can we talk about it? Nope, there's no talking about it. That's kind of how some people are. Anyway, kind of ranting a little bit. Started off with such a good morning. I'm still happy. It's a great morning. We're blessed. Here's our other path back to the house. We've lost Frank. Frank's probably, he's so little he can blast through this thick bush like a little freight train, and he finds squirrels and chipmunks and stinky little things to chew on. He's a Jack Russell. That's what he does. But he always shows up in a few minutes. If you look around, you can see the trees leaning and laying down. There you go. So that's all as a result. Snapped off 10 feet up. That was, when you see that, snapped off 10, 15 feet up, that's a tornado. It twists them off. A heavy plow wind bends them over. tornado snaps them off. So we've had both here. We've had two major windstorms, plus that snowstorm. And the first one, well, like, we fell in love with this property because of the bush. 2 months after we bought this place, we had the first big wind come through and take down hundreds of trees. Some in our favorite areas. It was a very sad day. Hopefully things calm down now for the next number of years. But as you can see, this is a path we use quite often. You can just see the house through the trees now, so you can see we're not that far from the ridge. We've only covered about half of our property in this walk, and we're into it for about 11 minutes so far. Haven't covered the half. Went about the length of half, I should say. More trees leaning over. We've cleaned up a lot of these. We're going to go past one of the wood piles. Here's a brush pile in there, one of many that we've cleaned up. Well, that's just nature anyway. It doesn't matter. We're not going to clean them all up. It's just nature. Ginger here is just a beauty. Hey, Ginger, you beautiful dog. Ginger, you sit. You sit. You sit. Good girl. Faith, you sit. Sit. Faith, sit. Sandy, sit. Look at these beautiful girls. These are our beautiful girls, hey? So Sandy and Ginger are daughters to Faith. That's Mom and her girls right here. Anyway, I'm sure somebody would wonder, why do we have two on leashes and the other two not? But they're relatively young, and I don't know. Sometimes dogs get bad habits. That one German Shepherd, we only had her for 6 months. She was not working for us. Some friends of ours have her now and absolutely love her, and that's great. She's on a cattle farm. But she taught all of our dogs some really bad habits, and we're still struggling with that a year and a half later. That's okay. It's part of life. This is one of our sort of non-treed areas, and I cut it just to kind of get a feel. I kind of thought about making this into a little campsite for friends. But also it's a good place to stockpile some wood. This is a very nice Saskatoon bush right here. Very nice. And actually, I'll take you into Teepee Village. My youngest son here, he loves to build teepees. By the way, here's some choke cherries. Oh, Faith. Sandy's not that bright about which direction to go around a tree on a leash. She'll learn. She is learning. Here's Lowen's Teepee Village. So he, him and my wife, when they're cleaning up the bush, they always stack up the logs. Oh, there's my axe. Of course. Why wouldn't I look for it in Teepee Village? Yeah, so they make these teepees, and Lowen comes in and cuts the grass. They even had a little fire here the one day and cooking hot dogs. And I think they'll probably, we have more teepees around the yard because wherever we clean up these tall trees, we make teepees. It's the easiest way to clean them up, and it looks kind of cool. Here's one of the log piles. This all came out of our new driveway, which was earlier in the video. Actually, no, I don't think we saw that one this time. And this is just a small part of it. Perfectly good poplar. And it's seasoned about 6 months. We'll season it till spring. And I got a friend who's burning wood for primary heat source, so I'll probably give it away or sell it to him real cheap. Help him out a bit. But here we are, coming up the home stretch back to home. Bit by bit, I'm moving all of this sort of utilitarian stuff to the what we call our side yard, utility part of the yard. So I still got a few implements here that have to be moved. In this dirt spot here, there was a dog run. In this dead part, that's where the shed was. We've moved that already as we build the new one. All of this here, this dog run, this shed, the next dog run here, all of this is going to be gone in a month, and we'll move everything over to the new side, which is over here. Sorry about the mess, we're under construction, which we always are. It's 500 square foot. As you can see, there's going to be electrical and water in there. Insulated pad for heated floor. And that is that. I think I might let the girls in here for the morning. Rather than putting them back in their kennel, I'll leave them in here. The puppies don't need them right now. They're all well fed, and this gives them a chance to stretch their legs. So just in case anybody wants to know how our dogs are treated, they are kept indoors a good part of the time. They're locked up at night so they don't wander off. We'll keep them in an 800 square foot run as much as we can. We walk them. What we just did, that walk, we sometimes do that twice a day, almost always once. This shed here is insulated, spray foamed. When we built our house and we were spray foaming in the house, I got the spray foam guy to spray foam this shed as well. So it's very well insulated. It's heated, it's got lights, and doggy doors so they can come and go as they please. And now a quick look at the puppies in this shed. Here's my puppies. Hey guys. Hey. There they are. It's almost time to redo the paper. They're all laying here very content because they got very full bellies. Very full bellies. They're doing really well. Very happy. Very happy little pups. Hey? Hey little guy. And there you have it. That's the grand tour. Thanks for watching. I'm not a video editor. I guess I could get into that one day. But I can make raw video. So, this is our place out in the country. You know what? Take a quick look behind me here. You see that hole in the ground? We're also digging a pond, so the dogs can swim on the hot days. So, like I say, thanks for watching. I hope you skipped through a bunch of the boring stuff and found the interesting stuff if there's any. And God bless you, and we'll see you next time.